Bread pudding is one of those old-fashioned desserts that never go quite out of style. Here are your ingredients, but I will include a link below that will give you full nutrition information and more details as always. This recipe is called Ben's bread pudding, and it's called that because my friend asked us to make it for him. We start out with 1/2 cup of raisins, 75 grams, and you want to soak them in water for at least a half hour. You can do it overnight. Now, if you want to go up a notch, you can put some rum in it and let it soak overnight. You want to start out by having 4 egg yolks, 80 grams in a bowl, and you want to mix these together. And as you're whisking them together, you're going to put the sugar in. 1/4 cup of white sugar, which is 50 grams, and 1/4 cup of brown sugar, which is 56 grams. Now you can use all dark brown sugar, you can use light brown sugar, you can use all white sugar. You don't have to be fancy here, you use what you have on hand. Next, you're going to add in some vanilla, which is 5 milliliters. And if you don't have the vanilla, don't feel bad. You can leave it out. 1 teaspoon worth. You can use 2 teaspoons worth if you like. Then you're going to add in your spices. 1½ teaspoon of cinnamon, which is about 6 grams. 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1 gram. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, which is about 1/2 gram. And then you're going to put in some salt to balance everything out. 1/2 teaspoon, about 2.5 grams. Mix them together and then put them in the eggs and whisk this until it's really well incorporated. Again, you just want it to mix so you don't have like a pocket of spice and then not spice at all. And it will look like this, real nice and thin and ribbony. Add in your cream at this point, 1¼ cups, which is 300 milliliters. And then you're going to add in 1 cup of milk, which is 240 milliliters. Now, if you don't have heavy whipping cream, you can add anything you like. You can use condensed milk, you can use all milk, any type of milk, full fat, fat-free. This is all about what you have on hand. Stir that in briefly, and then you're going to add in 2 cups of stale bread. That's about 100 grams. If your bread isn't stale, turn on your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius, and dry out that bread about 10 to 15 minutes. Then you're going to add it into your mixture. Make sure it's all underneath the mixture, and you're just going to let this sit to let it absorb the liquid for about a half an hour. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius while this is soaking. Get you an 8x8 or 20 centimeter pan. It can be square or round, and you want to spray it or grease it with some oil. This just helps it release easier. Check your bread and see that it is softer and not hard and crunchy. If it is hard and not giving away, then you want to let it soak a little bit longer. Pour this all into your pan all at once. Scrape out all the liquid that you can because it's going to be a nice custard. And then once you get that done, you're going to take your raisins, and if you haven't already done that, drain off the water. Now this looks really liquidy at this point, but it will firm up as it bakes. You're going to add in your raisins and just sprinkle them about and just try to do an even coating. If you don't like raisins, leave them out completely. You also can add to the raisins and you can put in some cranberries or some peaches, or you can use one or the other in place of it. You can also put in some nuts, which is absolutely fabulous if you like, but we're just going to go the old-fashioned bread pudding way and just use the raisins. And then just use your spatula or a spoon and kind of push them down into the liquid so that they really get in contact with this custard base. The next step we're going to do is we're going to get a pan that is slightly larger than this one. You want it at least about an inch, 2.54 centimeters bigger than this. I'm using a 9 by 13 pan, which is roughly 23 by 33 centimeters. And what you're going to do is just set this in the center the best you can. And you want to fill it about halfway up with water on the outside. Use hot water, and I'm using about 2 cups worth, or about 480 milliliters. Transfer this in the oven and bake it to 45 minutes, give or take, until the center is still slightly wobbly, but it looks like this. Bring it out of the oven and then carefully remove it from that water bath and get rid of the water bath. Now, if you need to let it cool, you can put it back in the oven if you only have one cooling rack, which is what I do sometimes. Then you're just going to let this sit until it's firm, about 1 to 2 hours before serving it. If you serve it too early, it'll just fall apart on you because that's just the way custard works. And I'll show you what happens because we wanted to eat it a little bit earlier and I only waited about 45 minutes. It's very soft and it just kind of falls apart on you. Not a big deal. It is your home, it is your kitchen. Cook it any way you want and serve it whenever you want. See how it's just kind of falling apart? Oh well, I will show you a picture of what it looks like when you wait till it's properly cooled. Visit us at jacksonsjob.com, and as always, happy baking.